Okay, we are ready to bite the bullet and get this stringing done. I have gone ahead and pre-cut the elastic based upon the length of the original, and just took new and added a little bit more to what's there, just in case it had been trimmed back for some reason before I got it. Keep that to the side. These are for the upper body. I've got the lower body here. Now, as I mentioned before, when I had unstrung this, the legs had been double looped up through the body. Something that they did was, if you look inside here, there's a little bit of a base, something I don't see in a lot of the dolls I own, and they had looped across and then came up and went to the head. I may repeat that. Hopefully that will work for this doll. And with any due luck, that and the hot glue felting should be able to get everything stabilized nicely so that I can get down to finishing her face. Alright, this is just like bead stringing. And I do have a crochet hook ready just in case. If there's any problems, crochet hook. So just following back through the way they were. If you're looking at your leg joint, the slot will go to the front. That's so that the leg can bend so they can sit down. Pardon me. Now this particular doll had markings to show left and right. This one says Y, the other says Z. It also shows which way is up. Back through the leg. And since this particular doll has hooks, we're making use of those. You can see the hook goes through the connection. You do not particularly have to use the hook, but it is really nice. It helps with the flexibility, or if you have difficult clothes for the doll, you can change them out more easily. Go through that little hole there. And do be careful because it may try and fall out. And you're not going to be tightening this up until you get all of the parts back on. Back through. Somewhere. Are we going through? There we are. Back through the knee. And the thigh. Trying to cheat a little and use a mirror, make sure I'm staying in frame for you. And back up into the cavity of the hip. Now the other side, same thing. Keeping the slot to the front. Goes on pretty quick at this point. I'm not anticipating much in the way of difficulty with this doll. I did go with the thicker elastic, just for the added strength. Don't be afraid to restring your dolls. They are made to be restrung. I do understand that the elastic will wear out eventually. Alright, I've got a hold of that middle piece. I'm not letting it sag. pull everything up. Tucking it into position as it goes. While it's loose, everything's going to spin every which direction. Sorry for getting out of frame there. Okay. She's good and tight right there. You can see I have a lot pulled up here. You can pull them too tight. And if you do, basically just loosen it right back up. It's not a problem. I've just tightened her up so that it's down inside of the hip. A little knot will keep everything under control. The squeaking that you're hearing now is not resin on resin. If your resin is squeaking against your resin, hopefully it's really new resin. But I did just felt with hot glue. And that's what's making that noise. And you can see the way that this doll is strung kind of pulls in a little bit. Causes the legs to kick out just slightly, but it's not a problem. Now, as you can see, the doll stands pretty good without the upper torso yet. Let me get you put back down here. You can see what's going on. Okay. Now, I've only got a single loop knot in there. It's staying on its own, which is pretty good. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to go ahead and put the torso on. Kind of easy. Smaller dolls going through the torso, you're going to have a little bit of a struggle. It's really tight up in there. You're going to use a crochet hook more often with a smaller doll. Larger dolls tend to be slightly easier to do this with. Okay, so we're going to set this aside. And let's do the upper body. Okay, here's that pre-cut piece somewhere. Ah, wrong side. It's over here. Can't be perfect all the time. Okay, for these, this was also double looped through. But unlike the torso, or the hip, you don't have a spot to control it by. These dolls, fortunately, a lot of them come with an S-hook. And the S-hook will fit up through the head. You look, there's a keyhole slot that S-hook fits through. When you bring it through to the top, you twist it, it sets in perfectly. Yes, that is sticky tack. If you're using a good color fast version, you're alright, like the name brand. There is also white if you're worried about that, because it can stain if you get the cheap stuff. Now, with the help of the S-hook, you're going to loop down 2 strands through the neck. Going the wrong way. And next, the magic happens. You gotta go sideways. Now keep in mind, I am not the all-knowing, all-seeing here. If you find a better way to do this, go for it. I have no problem with that. And different dolls are going to string different ways. Do what works best for you. Alright, there's one side. And the other. And just like with the legs, we're going to loop down, catch the hook, and return. Now if you have a problem with your S hook staying put, your crochet hook can be your friend again. You can also use a pencil. Through the elbow and the forearm. Down to the S hook. And then the return trip. This is a very tight squeeze getting through here. I did increase the size of the elastic. Now the magic has to go back up through the neck. And if you're lucky, your elastic curves. Alright. And the other side. Behold the magic trick. Do not avert your eyes. The fight will begin momentarily. I'm fairly certain she's not going to go so easy this time because there's no curve. And I have to keep that other stuff from pulling through. So here's the return trip. Do the elbow joint. Up through the upper arm. I do not have as much leeway here. I borrowed a little space from the other side. Alright. I've got to get this to go up here. This one's the hardest. I'm hoping you can see what I'm doing. I cannot. Alright, I don't see where it's gone. Didn't go up. Why? Because it's elastic. So, need to borrow some length. Hopefully it'll let me. A little bit longer. and then try to get up through the neck. Past 4 other strands of elastic and a crochet hook, which I think at this point I'm going to try and switch back out to give me a little more room, and so I can use it to help me guide this one up. It's in there somewhere. There it is. Okay. I'm going to try and line everything up just a little bit better. I can see daylight through there. I know you go. Just a little bit of a push. As I said, there are certain points you're going to have a struggle. This one gets to be mine. You can also make this a little bit easier sometimes with the help of some wire. But we are through. Okay. This is not the end of our trial. This has to go through, the next part has to go up through as well. But for right now, let's tighten her up. Get everything aligned where it should be. Good. Just tie a knot right here around the S hook so that everything is caught up the same. Now, you can see this is some really tight space here. I've got to get 2 more strands all the way up through. The short one first, since it's going to give me the most fuss, I'm sure. Get the hook up out of the way. That's one. Comes number 2. It's really tight space up in there. Okay, let's cinch her up. Oops, turn your torso around, honey. You need it. As you can see, the knot came up that I had tied earlier down inside here. I'm really tugging on it. It's causing her to do some weird things. And I've caught her on the hook. Okay. Now, do a little bit of adjusting here. To where she's in a comfortable position. Not doing anything too terribly weird. Might have her hip just a little tight. But what am I doing? Get in there. Takes just a little bit of fiddling and you get everything adjusted. Might have her just a little too tight somewhere there. Oh, there we go. She's standing. It's a little weird and awkward looking. Hopefully this isn't a weird shot. Okay. And my battery's slowly dying. I'm going to reattach her head now. All that is pulling this hook up through and twisting. And next, ready to fix her paint and decorate her clothing. Thanks for watching.